second. New video start. You're welcome. 8, 7, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back.
Yes.
So tonight's episode, we're really starting to get into the grist of it all for the very beginning of the American Revolution.
Of the war.
Yes, the very, very beginning of the war.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves because the shot heard round the world is coming up soon. But right now, the midnight ride of Paul Revere, who was actually singularly made famous for that great endeavor, which actually transpired with a couple of people making midnight rides from the city of Boston out to Lexington and Concord to warn their patriotic friends, namely Sam Adams, remember him? And John Hancock, who you have not yet encountered, but he's the one with the really big, signature on the Declaration of Independence. But do you want to know something, a secret about him?
What?
He was a smuggler. Yep,
Yeah.
smuggler. Someone who illegally brings in items in order to then sell them to other people. So he is not paying attention to the laws of the land. He's basically saying, I'm going to do whatever it is I want to do. And he has a long history of doing that, apparently. There's a couple of good movies out there about it all. But right now we're going to be concentrating on the cartoon of Liberty's Kids. So are you getting ready for the episode? Yeah? Cool. Let's go through a couple of different ideas before we set forth onto this midnight ride of Paul Revere. Do you remember what a regulator is?
It regulates. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, a regulator regulates. It really is that easy. What does he regulate? Society. He puts his nose into everyone's business. And in official capacity, of course. Now, who's a traitor?
He's someone that trades.
I knew you were going to give me a Minecraft reference. Like, yeah, they're the guys with the llamas. Of course you're going to say that. Of course, Minecraft and you, it's always on the
And
mind.
speaking about Minecraft, we're going to do Minecraft classes soon.
Speaking of Minecraft, yes, we are. Yes, well, news to follow about our free online Minecraft class for those of you who want to learn more.
Look at my hands. And my hands are...
Your hands disappear?
My hands are have...
Kind of look like a scarecrow. It's fall. It's that time of year, so the scarecrows are coming out. A traitor basically is someone who betrays his country. Like Benedict Arnold, a very famous traitor in American history. We'll come up to him later on in a different episode. How about treason? Remember what treason is?
I don't like this angle. It's like literally bending me over.
I was saying you should sit like that before. But no, treason is not the little trees underneath the daddy tree for the little tree sons. No, that's not it. Of course, it's basically trying to overthrow the government. That's what treason is. And a colony, they say actually in the book, it's basically where one group of people come together to basically create a society. It doesn't have to be one people. Many colonies were because, well, hey, homogeneity with a small group, that makes things work. But nonetheless, it doesn't have to be. And most colonies quickly basically grew, or some at least did, quickly grew beyond their original, what they were. Jamestown was definitely not homogenous in a very specific manner, as was, for example, Plymouth. Those who got off the Mayflower were all of the same religious sect. But that is for a completely different time era. The purpose of Paul Revere's ride was to go to Concord to, well, we covered this already, to talk to who? Remember? He went to talk to our dog.
Sam Adams?
There you go, Sam Adams, yeah. And John Hancock, who we've not yet met.
Sam Adams.
Yes. So what is it that you want to know about this episode?
I don't know what you're telling me.
Okay, go for it.
The sad animals that we're talking about? We're talking about a dog.
Yes, we fostered a dog called Sam Adams, and
Yeah.
that was a very nice dog, very fun.
Yeah, he was a golden.
He was a golden, yep. So anything else you want to learn about this episode? Please write it down in your books. Everything. Anything about Paul Revere? Like, does he drink coffee? How was he awake to do that ride? What about the horse? Seriously, does anyone ever mention the horse? How's the horse feel? Thinks he's going to sleep for the night. All of a sudden, he's like, what? Go past what? Really? I can't see anything. No one ever talks about the horse. No one.
No,
Really?
because they started like at.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to pay special attention to the horse as we watch this next episode, Midnight Ride, which is episode 5 in Liberty's Kids. Please look to the chat for the link to the video. Here we go.
Getting too hot here, but
Yay! The bell has rung its final toll. Oh
I
no!
put it back on.
Oh yeah, I'll fix it too. That's okay.
No, that's like okay.
So, do you know why Paul Revere was out doing rides at all hours of the night?
Because he had 16 children.
16 children he had! 16! That's incredible! And his house? Pretty small. His house is still there in Boston. You can go check it out, take the tour. It's really small. Sometimes he rode all the way down to New York. Yeah, like after the Boston Tea Party. He was the one who went down to New York to notify Patrick McDougal and Isaac Sears in New York from the Sons of Liberty. Oh, Sons of Liberty. And now we learned about the mechanics. Isn't that cool? Did you know about the mechanics? I didn't know about the mechanics. I did not know. I know Sons of Liberty, not the mechanics. So, of course, a group of patriots who were concerned about how the colonies are being treated. Yeah. Basically, the mechanics and the Sons of Liberty, apparently, they're basically about the same thing. They're concerned people, but you have to be in commerce to be a Son of Liberty. And if you are a working man, skilled hands with tradesmen, basically working with their hands, then you would be a mechanic. Can you sit up and stand up, please? Yeah, thank you. Moses' secret group heard that the British soldiers were going on the move from Boston to New York. They got bad intel. The group wanted the people to know so the colonists would not attack the redcoats accidentally. Number 2. Answer was New York. But that was wrong, so, what's the point of that question?
No, we were doing...
Sarah and James... I did that already. While Sarah and James were on the ship, they got fired upon by British sailors. Why?
They were...
Why? You just saw the episode. Don't read this. You just saw
They were warning everyone that wasn't a British subject because they were going to get killed.
Yes, basically warning them away from what city? What city?
Boston!
Boston, right, yeah. Port of Boston's closed. That's what it means when the Port of Boston is closed. It means, hey, can't come here. You know why? It's closed! That's why. So that's why they had to go through the muck to get to Boston. While James and Sarah were traveling, what did they hear? That the regulars were not going to New York, but were in fact going to Lexington and Concord.
Yeah.
You have not been there yet. We got to go check that place out. It's really fun. They do a reenactment there every year, Lexington and Concord. We have some friends who are there.
Right now?
Yeah.
Friends that lived it?
Yeah.
Where?
Lexington and Concord.
Where in Concord?
Oh, I'm not going to promote that like this. Dr. Warren interrogated. Do you know what it is to be interrogated? Do you know? Have you heard of interrogation before? What do you know about being interrogated? You give it up now. Tell me everything you know about interrogation. Tell me, when did you first hear about interrogation? How long have you known about interrogation? What means of interrogation do you know about? Tell me now. I want to know. That is interrogation. Or ask questions to James and Sarah. Why did Dr. Warren ask questions to James and Sarah? Because he wanted to make sure that they were not spies. A lot of spies in the 18th century. Really, it's...
Wait.
A lot of spies. Yeah. A lot of spies in the
I
18th
want to
century.
do this one.
Just different lifestyle. The internet wasn't created like Benjamin Franklin was just wishing. Stand up, please, or sit up, please. The British were going off after 2 people. Who were the...
Samuel Adams and John Hancock.
Thank you. You got that answer right. Nice. Where were the British coming from? Land or sea?
Water.
Water. Yeah. River, basically. River. It's not the sea. It's river. But still, the show did a good job to really give credit to Dawes because it was Walt Whitman's famous poem, that basically immortalized one if by land, two if by sea. It rhymes very well, but it was by the river. And then, of course, just about Paul Revere, as James said, hey, I can only write about what I know. So that's why Paul Revere got it. And Sylvester Stallone playing Paul Revere. That was really cool. That was a nice special touch. I like that. There were two people who were midnight riders. Who were they? Tell me their names. Quickly. What are their names? I'm interrogating you again. What were their names? Why were they out so late at night? Tell me. Tell me. Who were the midnight riders? Tell me. You remember? Seriously?
Yeah, Samuel Adams and John Hancock.
No, they were not the riders. They were actually sleeping in a house at the Clark house quite soundly.
I didn't know which guys you were talking about.
Who were the guys on the horses?
Oh,
One of them has 16 children. What's his name?
Samuel Adams.
No, Samuel Adams did not have 16 children.
No, that was John Hancock.
No, John Hancock did not have 16 children.
Yeah, no, because I'm listening to
Sylvester Stallone.
What?
Right, Paul Revere. That's the answer. Paul Revere. With William Dawes. Or Billy, as he likes to go by. Billy.
Okay, I'm listening to Game
No, please don't do that. How many lanterns did Paul Revere put in the Tower of
2.
People? I think I would call it Tower of the Old North Church.
2.
Yes. And why? Why? Why does he do such a thing?
Why?
You know how far he used to climb to get up there? And I don't think he actually did it. I think he told someone else and someone else went up there. But it could be wrong about that. But it's a really far climb up to go up there.
He had 2.
Yeah. Why did they do that whole 2-lantern system thing? Because the people across the river in Charlestown can see that, and they made up the code prior. That's just cool. Really, that's just cool. That's them coming, but like, hey, if we're going to be invaded, let us know. Like, all right, we'll let you know. How we do it? Yell. Dude, you're not going to hear me. I can't yell. Put the note on the pigeon. The pigeon died. Get in a boat. Well, what if they're going in the boat? You can go in a rider. Well, what if they're riding? All right, fine. They're coming by land, put 1 lantern. Coming across the Charles River, put 2. Good system. Yes? Good system. High five. High five.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, that's how the system came about. What were the Midnight Riders yelling? Yes, thank you. Yes, of course, perpetuate the whole British were coming thing. They were all British still, politics aside. So legally they were. Now, Paul Revere wasn't the only one to ride. Why do you think he's the only one mentioned? Again, famous Walt Whitman poem, and basically the Midnight Rider Paul Revere. Why did they want to warn everyone that the British were coming? Good question. Why were they warning about the British
because
coming?
they were gonna die.
Who's going to die?
British.
Right, not the British, but they ended up dying. Who were the British after?
The Americans.
Yeah, what were their names? You know their names. You told me like 6 times already in this episode. What were their names?
John.
Say it loudly. Samuel Adams and John Hancock. Thank you. Yes. And why is Benjamin Franklin worried / anxious at the end of the episode? Why?
The children. There is power.
Why? You seriously? You're giving me why? Why doesn't someone think of the children? Is that your answer?
No, because they were his workers, his co-workers.
So he was thinking about those children, Sarah and James and Henri. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, but I think in a grander scheme of things, he kind of knows that when a fight begins, one side hits the other, and the other side hits back, and then the first side hits forward again. They hit back and forth, and it basically keeps escalating until someone else gets involved that basically says stop. And right now, the Congress got involved to say stop, but they sent the letter to the king from the first Continental Congress And this basically whole episode going up in Boston, that is the British not stopping. That's the British basically taking that step forward. And, oh, by the way, the very same night, down in Williamsburg, Virginia, which is the largest colony in Virginia, Williamsburg is definitely not the largest town in Virginia, the British regulars under Lord Dunmore, is Dunmore down there? Yeah, Lord Dunmore, they went into the powder magazine in town and emptied it of all the gunpowder, shot, musket balls, and muskets. They took it all out. Bayonets, everything, took it all out. And that was stuff that the town people actually paid for. So there's a very interesting connection from our Second Amendment that we enjoy so much here in this country to this original endeavor. We all know about what happened in Lexington and Concord when they went out to go and steal the supplies. That's the very next episode. But that's what they're warning about. The same thing was happening down in Williamsburg. Please stop.
What?
So it's pretty interesting about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to share before we say good night to everyone?
Good night.
That's really it.
Bye. Thank you. Oh my God.